this is the spreadsheet application. Most importantly to note, in the middle of the page are a bunch of cells which hold data. Down the bottom of the page is a formula box which holds formulas. Now let's start with an example, converting temperatures between degrees sensible and degrees freedom. At my house at the moment, it's about 15 degrees Celsius. So let's make a new cell whose name is Celsius and whose value is 15, and we can convert it to degrees Fahrenheit by multiplying it by 1.8 and adding 32. And this should look like any formula that you've seen in any other spreadsheet application, possibly with the addition of these names, which make the formula a little easier to read. Now, having calculated that value, we've automatically got a reusable Fahrenheit conversion function. Next time we want to convert a temperature, let's say for a warmer day, we can just say, what would the Fahrenheit be if Celsius was equal to 20, say? On a warm day at 20 degrees Celsius, we have 68 degrees Fahrenheit. So there's no need to remember 32 or 1.8 or anything like that. We can just use this Fahrenheit function. Maybe if we want to make a table of temperatures, we'll call it temps. And the first column can be degrees Celsius. Let's say we want to know freezing, at boiling, and maybe baking. We can say another column, F is equal to Fahrenheit if Celsius was equal to temps.c, temps.c being this column here. And there we get a nice simple calculation of the corresponding Fahrenheit values. Right, let's move on to a more complicated example. So in this example, we've got three things. In the lower left, we have a table of airports, each with a name, a latitude, and a longitude. And in the lower right, we have a trips table, each trip having a from location and a to location, the names being things that we could look up in the airports table. In the top left, we have something a little more complicated. We have a way to calculate the distance on the globe between two given latitudes and longitudes. Now, it's not too necessary to understand exactly how this calculation works. What we need to understand is what we get on the output, which is the distance along the globe in kilometers, and we need to understand the inputs, which are two pairs of latitudes and longitudes. Knowing those things and trusting that the calculation is correct, we can use this as a function ourselves. So what we want to do is calculate the distance traveled for each of the trips in the trips table. In a regular spreadsheet program, we might add a column for the from latitude and another column for the from longitude, another column for the lat diff, lon diff, d, and distance, and so on, ending up with half a dozen new columns and quite a large spreadsheet. Thankfully, in this spreadsheet program, things are a little simpler. So let's do this in two steps. Let's start by making a helper function that will, instead of calculating the distance between 2 points on the globe, will calculate the distance between two airports given their names. And we'll do it in the top right. So let's make the inputs to this function. Let's say from name can be SFO. The to name, let's make it LAX. And we can write the function like name dist is equal to the distance where the from value is equal to, now we need to look up in the airports table the right latitude and longitude. So let's find in airports the place where the name is equal to from name. And similarly for the to input, we need to look up in airports the place where the name is equal to name. And fingers crossed, between San Francisco and LAX, it's about 543 kilometers. And having done that calculation one time, it's very simple to do it for each of the others. So let's make a column in the trips table. We'll call it, let's say, dist, and it's simply name dist using this helper function. If from name is equal to trips dot from, that's using this column here, and to name is equal to trips dot to. And there we have a list of distances for each of these flights, and of course we can do things like summing them up. Let's say total is equal to sum of trips dot dist. And there we are. It's about 18,000 kilometers for each of these flights. Thanks for watching.